Hey, what's going on, friends, family? My name is Skylent, and I always love that sort of like positively charged intro whenever we do something super toxic. I hope it kind of frames everything in a way that, like, really, I'm just trying to have fun, and you can even have some fun with negativity. You can have fun with bad games, you can have fun with drama. It's all really just fun. It's just games. It's all fun and games, until someone loses their job or whatever, but, yeah, that's kind of what we want to talk about today is, why is it that Kickstarter MMOs specifically seem to be just so bad? Not only do they seem to be so bad, but they literally, like, never take off, it seems. Now, I'm actually going to follow this video with, a couple others, possibly a few, but definitely one at least talking about, the best, Kickstarter MMO successes. But it's, with my history with MMOs, guys, it's not just Kickstarter MMOs that fail or they don't do as well as you'd like them to, or they have shadiness involved in their production or publication. That's just all MMO, and it's really just all games as a service. But I will pinpoint specifically, I'm going to tell you right now, why is it that MMOs specifically suck on Kickstarter? Why does it seem like it's just so hard for people to just be fucking honest, with all this drama about the new MMO Oath, which I'm actually going to link to Krai's video, which is a little bit long. Maybe I'll link also to the Reddit post, which is a lot easier to read. But with all that drama, and of course you got all the drama with Crowfall and Ashes of Creation and every other freaking MMO on Kickstarter, basically. A lot of people are like, yo, Kickstarter MMOs, they suck, why? And basically, it comes down to this, guys. And it's not just MMOs, though, but basically, MMOs are games as a service, which means you generally want to have subscription fees, you generally want to have certain types of cash shops, and you want to have a certain development flow, I guess you could say, where you're just always churning in new content for players to play, such as expansions. So the sort of recommended route of making an MMO is obviously to have a big investment initially, already be a big company, a big publisher such as Blizzard, and be able to have a subscription, service, so you pay monthly. Hopefully it's optional. That's really good for consumers such as Elder Scrolls Online, but if not, whatever. You want to have a subscription fee such as RuneScape, and then that way you have a dedicated player base that wants to always play your game, so they're always enriching the gameplay. Everyone's always having fun, always talking about the game, and you have incentive as a developer / publisher to continuously develop and publish new content for this game. And that is how it stays alive. So RuneScape is the idea gold sort of standard, especially with the whole free-to-play element added in. Really 2 thumbs up for that. Very much appreciate that game. I feel like World of Warcraft kind of double dips, but a lot of people still, they're okay with it to an extent. It's like, yeah, you got to pay for the expansions, but you do get them on free, I guess. But then expansions are kind of expensive, but you do got to pay for the subscription fee, and then they do have cash shop as well. It starts to get a little bit weird. So I do like the options inside of Elder Scrolls Online. But regardless, you do have games where it's the incentive of how players play, how they pay, and how the developers create the game. It's a little bit more cohesive. Something that was incohesive, but it was something like Guild Wars 2. Originally, they had this really cool plan. It was very consumer friendly, but it didn't quite work out in the end, so they had to switch it, they had to change it around, and, things can flounder and flop. Just because something is consumer friendly doesn't mean it's really the best for both worlds. So you gotta think of that. I hate saying things like that. You gotta think of the developers. But in this case, we really should, because we literally need the servers up and running. We need new content. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There needs to be something going on, some transaction of some kind, hopefully. Not every game can be, run by advertisements or Patreons, but actually, let's get into that. So one thing that's really important to note is that Kickstarter and Patreon, while they're both crowdfunded, I have to say that I am much more incentivized to give to a game via Patreon versus Kickstarter. Now, I hate Patreon, and in fact, even though I do shill it out constantly in my videos because I'm desperate, I need money to feed my family, please and thank you, the Patreon is really ugly because it's like a recurring expense for, at least for YouTube, and what a lot of people use Patreon for is like, lots of random content that's not exactly all cohesive, but a singular service like an MMO is perfect. It's basically like an optional sub fee that you can kind of almost pay for other people, you know? So people who have more means or who are more fanatically in love with the game and want those extra bonuses that come with the Patreon, they can support the game in that way. And they're kind of like a beneficial whale in a sense, you know? So you can optionally, you know, fund this game's development ongoing, which is great. But Kickstarter is different. So Kickstarter, the incentive is totally reverse. With MMOs, you want to continuously build this game. I've said that like 10 times throughout this video. You want to continuously build on this game, but there is, and especially with how epic and expansive MMOs need to be, because they're literally massively multiplayer online games. Holy God, if you give them all the money at the beginning, you know, you give them like $100,000 at the beginning, even $50,000, you can make a cute, small, you know, mini MMO, even though that seems like it doesn't make sense. You can make a game like Realm of the Mad God or something like that with that money, but you give the developer all that money at the beginning, they have zero incentive to follow through with anything. And you can say this about a lot of things, but really board games need money for the literal physical production. Small indie games are just one and done. They just need the money so that they can push through, you know, get it published as well, and you know, finish up, maybe get some extra features in there. So, you know, those things, it makes sense to do Kickstarter, but an MMO where it's all about adding on these new expansions and you know, they're long-winded development games. It takes a long time to build these games. The networking involved, the sheer complexity with just the fact that it's an MMO. And also, you know, just the fact that, man, Kickstarter is just a really good place to sell ideas. And MMOs are, I mean, I do so many videos on these because we all have these ideas, we all have this fantasy. It's just the most fantastic genre. And, you know, it just seems really, really easy for somebody to go on and be like, I got this cool idea, give me money, 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 money. And, you know, people give them money and then they're like, well, I mean, okay, thanks, bye, basically. Or they just kind of squander it away, or they don't really know what they're doing. It just really, really, really sucks. Because it's really, really easy to make something that looks really good. But then again, of course, people like me who really understand what it means to play an MMO, what it means to be a part of an MMO and to make an MMO, it's like, you know, there's a lot of complex shit, even in the most simple MMOs like Realm of the Mad God, one of the most simple, basic, bare bones MMOs. Still, most people can't just spit that shit out. That's not just gonna happen. It's still like hundreds of players running around in real time fighting monsters. You have all these questing, the progression systems. You gotta have the servers, the systems in place. You know, the back end of all that stuff. It's not just pretty graphics and spell effects and things. It's you can easily, anybody can make a Kickstarter. You know, and the kind of a sad thing, but there's actually a career path of people who just make Kickstarters. Like you can hire me. I'll make you a Kickstarter. You know, we'll do a crazy trailer. We'll have awesome graphics. It'll be super professional. You know, we'll hire a cinematographer, freaking, you know, to film and have epic, you know, emotive like story time. Like, oh, I'm a sad developer. I quit my job to follow my passion. Boo hoo! Give me $100,000 so I can not make this MMO. You know, we can do that. That's the thing that happens. Definitely happened with Crowfall, where the initial wave is like, oh my God, this game looks like almost done. You know, this game's gonna be done in a couple years. They just need some money to, you know, get it fully out. And then look what happens. Crowfall is still basically pre-alpha. Star Citizen is kind of in a weird gray zone because it's like, it's not that they're not delivering on their initial concept. It's like they just keep adding to the initial concept. So, double-edged sword there. But, you know, guys, it's just Kickstarter itself is just like not the appropriate incentivization, I think, for any games as a service. It's a little awkward. I mean, you'd have to really trust and believe in these guys, but even then, guys, honestly, there's a lot of MMOs being created right now that are from people who are like, oh, I helped make Ultima, or I'm literally the guy who made Ultima. I'm the guy who, you know, we worked on Guild Wars 2 and blah, blah, blah. And they go and they try to make a game and it's still fucking shit. It's still shit. Guys, honestly, I think nobody knows how to make games on the planet. It's all just mostly luck. It's mostly luck and people coming together and trying their damnedest and a whole lot of money. But, you know, I think at the moment, right now, most people, whether they start with really true passion or not, it seems like they still fall to greed. And as consumers, we just need to realize, like, okay, look, the incentive isn't there. I don't think you can trust anybody. So should you kickstart any MMO? No, I honestly don't think you should help kickstart and literally any MMO. I think that's kind of tragic. And again, the next video I do after this, we'll be talking about Kickstarter successes. That's cool and all, but it's just this, guys. Why would you give all this money, you know, to fund an MMO when really in the end, they're still going to spam you with cash shops. They're still going to just use it to get investors. They're still going to get investors, or they'll just cancel the game if they never get it anyways, despite, you know, overwhelmingly beating their goal. They're never going to change really, I think, in a positive way that is pro-consumer once they just get the money. Once they get their money, then after that, it's all about either getting more money or reducing their costs, as in basically trickling down production until it's zero. That's just the incentive. You know, that's not always going to be the case. Some people actually do follow through with their initial designs, with their passions. True, but guys, we can all see that's just not the case. And the reason is there just isn't the incentive. A games as a service needs to make their money consistently over time. You're giving them all the money at the beginning, and what do you expect? So should you support them via Patreon? If there is an MMO development and it is supported on Patreon, please link it in the comments below. I would love to know what MMOs those are. I know there's a few of them. I actually played one recently on the channel. So yeah, those I'll give a thumbs up. But Kickstarter, I don't know. And if there is one that you really believe in, please let me know also in the comments below for Kickstarter or Indiegogo or what have you. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts and feelings and things just from when, you know, I've talked to people, I've talked to developers and gamers, and I've been around the block. So yeah. But I myself, you know, I might need some funding. You know, it takes a lot of energy to sit here and do stuff and things sometimes. So if you want to one-time donate, that'd be really great. I'll read it on stream next time I launch it. And as well, I do have a Patreon. I'm trying to do more critical reviews. I'm trying to play more indie games. I'm trying to be more of a real YouTuber than ever before. But YouTube has literally canceled my channel, and I have a few reasons why that might be the case, but it's all bullshit. It's all algorithmic, and I hate it. So really, the only way I'm going to grow is to fucking claw and crawl my way up to 100K subs. And I guess we're just going to have to do that. I don't know what to say, guys. But yeah, anyways, much love. I'll see you in the next one.